Hey guys, it's your girl Rudy. I'm back with a YouTube video 11 months later. So the last time you guys saw me was when I first found out that I passed my NCLEX. It's been about 9 months now that I've been an RN. So this video is kind of just going to be like a life update slash nursing expectations versus the reality of what's going on in my nursing career right now. I just want to go ahead and apologize up front. I do have a puppy. He's only 3 months and he is in the crate right now chilling, so he might start to whine or bark at some point in the video, but we're just gonna go with it. Okay, so nursing expectation number one, I have some written down here so you see me looking down. Expectation number one, the pay. I thought the pay when I was in nursing school was going to be amazing. And you hear people say it all the time, like, oh, nurses make good money. Bullshit. That is a lie. The nurses that make good money are either traveling or are like PRN staff that get paid more hourly because they're relief staff. But full-time nurses, if you know a full-time nurse, please give him or her a hug, send them a Cash App donation, because I can guarantee you that if they haven't been a nurse for that long, they are not making that much money. So I was expecting to make like a good amount, but I was like completely blown away with like what I was making. I was like not in a good way, like, wow, like I'm still low-key broke and I got my BSN. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm busting my ass. I'm doing 72 hours and I'm still like looking at a check like yeah. And the thing about it is that I went through a nurse residency. So what they don't tell you is that when you're taking all these classes and stuff like that, while you're orienting in the beginning part, you're on day shift and then you're taking these classes. So my checks were looking like really skimp. And now I work night shift, so shift differential definitely does help a lot. But when I was looking at those checks when I was on my orientation part of my nurse residency, after the 14 weeks it improved because I was able to pick up shifts and stuff like that. But in the beginning I was like, oh, I gotta pay rent, like I gotta pay this, like this is not working. So the money definitely was something that, yeah, just in short, like full-time staff nurses do not get paid what they deserve. But full-time medical staff, whether it's your CNAs or your nurse techs, your phlebotomists, any of them, they're not getting paid. We not getting paid. Like, if you have a friend in healthcare, period, please just send them a Cash App donation, because we are not getting paid right now. Two, work environment. So, yeah. When I first started working at my job, and everybody was like really nice, and still to this day, like there's a lot of people that are nice, but I've just noticed that when you're young and you're coming on the scene, there's a lot of people that will try to take advantage of that. There's a lot of lazy staff that are quick to tell you what they will and will not do, come up with BS rules about things that they're not able to do because they just don't want to do it. But in short, yeah, toxic coworkers is definitely one. Toxic, messy coworkers, can't deal. Lazy coworkers who don't want to help you, whether it's a nurse, whether it's a tech. And I work in psych, so we have nurses and we have techs, but we're not really dealing with like a lot of medical stuff. We're dealing mainly with mental health. So yeah, some people are more receptive to help you, others are not so helpful. But all in all, my experience has been positive, but I have had a few negative experiences, and I feel like we don't really focus on that enough in nursing school, like workplace conflict, because honey, it will be conflict. There's a lot of hating ass, I'm trying to not curse as much, but hating ass like energy from other coworkers who might be jealous for whatever reason, whatever. And, you know, when you're young, like I am, because I'm only 26, when you're young and, you know, you have somebody who is a tech and they're older than you, and you are like in a position to delegate to them, they don't really be trying to hear that. Like, they don't be wanting to help you at all. They're like, what is this little girl gonna tell me what to do, because she's young, she just became a nurse, what does she know, you know, things like that. So you'll definitely deal with conflict, and I definitely feel like nursing school did not prepare me for the petty and the bullshit that comes along with a lot of like workplace conflict and how to professionally handle that. I'm just not, you know, I'm a really chill person. I'm really laid back and really relaxed. And when I feel like I'm being tried, I really do go to a place that's not good. So I'm actually trying to work through and work on that, because people will try you. Another thing would be, I would say, not feeling supported by your administration. I definitely feel like, you know, like I said, I work in psych, and my job is not that hard as far as like the physical part of it. Like, I don't feel beat up or like I got hit by a truck when I get home from my shift, like a med surg nurse or an ED nurse might feel, because it's hardly ever, it's rare that I'm like running around like physically doing something. However, my job is very mentally and emotionally taxing on my own mental health, because I deal with people that have all types of problems and issues, whether it be substance abuse, schizophrenia, bipolar, whatever they have going on. And yeah, not feeling really supported by administration. Like I said, I work night shifts, so I don't see my manager like that. And my manager is great. You know, I get to talk to her sometimes, but I would say that, you know, just like more so the upper administration, not my direct report, but upper administration that are kind of closer to the CEO, it seems very, healthcare is a business, you know, and my other degree is in healthcare administration. So I'm pretty like, you know, well aware that healthcare is a business. And so they're looking out for their pockets, and they're not really looking out for the nurses, the techs, the phlebotomists, you know, people that work, the little people, because we're the little people. But as little people as we are in the system, if all the nurses, all the techs, all the EMTs, you know, all of the lab staff decided to just say F it and not come to work, the hospital would not run. Let's just be real here. So yeah, that's another one. Patient ratio. So patient ratio is a big thing, and I actually complain about this a lot. Staffing right now, and goes into my other one as well, staffing right now is like very terrible. Like, staffing before COVID was already bad, but I think since COVID it has gotten worse, because a lot of nurses left the bedside either to pursue another career or to go travel. I don't blame them. Get your bag, sis. But I'm telling you, your full-time medical staff is suffering right now. Like, if they're full-time and they're not like supplemental staff like PRN, they are suffering because we have no staff. Like, we literally have no staff. So because of that, when I was first hired, it was like a big deal about like, oh, we have a new patient ratio. The new patient ratio is 8-1. I was like, okay. In psych, we get more patients because our patients are not medical, so they're able to bathe themselves most of the time. Yeah. And do for themselves because they're medically stable. So we're dealing with walkie-talkie patients who are able to, you know, do their ADLs and things like that. So we don't have to worry about, and if you don't know what ADLs is activities of daily living. So like, you're brushing your teeth, you're brushing your hair, putting on your clothes and bathing, things like that. Our patients are able to do that for themselves most of the time. Yes. So I was told it was going to be 8-1. And lately it's been like 10-1, 11-1, 12-1. And what I'm telling you guys, like, I took this week off of work for the fuck of it. Like, not because I was about to go anywhere or do anything. but because I really just needed the break. My mental health is more important to me than any other job. I will quit my job, sell all of my belongings, and move back in with my mama if I have to, if it comes to my mental health, because that's just where I'm at with it. But I took this week off to just kind of like refresh and kind of restart myself. And I was able to kind of just pull it back together. But yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm so stressed out at work. It's a lot to do. When you have 10 patients, you have one admission, you have to do charting. If you're a nurse out there and you've ever done an admission, you know the admission charting is ridiculous, especially if you use Epic. It's like a list of like 36 things that you have to chart on. So it's just completely ridiculous. And there's a breakdown of communication in the workplace. It's just a lot of stuff that was not discussed in nursing school, that I feel like if I had have known heads up, I probably would have had a better grip on my job. I wouldn't say that I would like not be a nurse. I would still be a nurse, but I feel like, you know, my expectations were like up here, and like I need to set them in the depths of hell, because that's pretty much like where it is right now. And because I just graduated from nursing school, and I had these like illusions of grandeur about like how nursing was going to be, how my nursing career was going to go, I got disappointed very quickly because of the way things are. So I did kind of talk about it a little bit as far as like staffing. Like I said, like staffing is terrible. We don't have enough nurses, we don't have enough techs, we don't have enough people in the lab. Like just across the board, everywhere is short staffed. I mean, you could go drive down the street anywhere and see for hire or looking for people, now hiring signs at Arby's to McDonald's, Target, to your local hospital, because everywhere is like struggling. Like people are just, I don't know if they're not coming to work, they don't want to work. And honestly, I don't blame them. Like if I could get paid for doing the bare minimum, I would do it. Why can't I be a bad bitch like Ari and twerk on Instagram and have a rapper girlfriend and get paid for it? I don't know. We all can't be God's favorite. So just a little life update. So guys, I did move. I relocated. So last video, I was living in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Now I live in Greensboro, North Carolina. Yeah, overall, Greensboro has been like good to me so far, as you know, things to do. It's a lot more stuff to do. It's a lot more things here in Greensboro compared to Fayetteville. If you from the Ville, you already know what I'm talking about. And if you've been to Greensboro versus Fayetteville, like you already know, like it's way more stuff to do here. Still kind of struggling in the friend department as far as like finding girlfriends here, you know, to do things with, but I kind of take myself out. This move has definitely forced me to be more attentive to myself, take myself out to dinner and sit by myself, or take myself to the bar and have a drink. I mean, it seems like it's a lonely thing, but I really feel like it kind of forced me to spend more time with myself for sure. So just kind of want to go into my overall experience as a psych nurse so far. I know I touched on the things that I was kind of expecting and how the reality of them is kind of playing out. And then I also want to talk about nurse residency as well. So overall, my experience working as a psych nurse has been actually good. Up until like recently, with the stress of taking all of these extra patients. And I guess something that I didn't realize about being a nurse is that, you know, my job is contingent and dependent upon someone else doing their job. So if I release an order and I release medications and they're on the patient's MAR, but the pharmacy hasn't verified these meds, I can't give them. It's things like that that irritate me. Or the lab losing tubes of blood and having to come back and get blood from my paranoid patient the next day again because they lost their blood. Yeah, things like this. are things that irritate me. And I think the biggest part of this has been, like I said, I did a nurse residency, so that involves a lot of classes in the beginning. It's a 14-week orientation. I definitely did feel prepared as far as the mechanics and the logistics of the job itself, that I could execute that and do my job. Now, what I was not prepared for was just, like I said, all of the other just kind of like bullshit, from whether it's from coworkers, whether it's from dealing with stuff from other people in other departments not doing their jobs, and then it trickles down. And something that irritates me is that no matter which way the cookie crumbles, it always crumbles in the lap of the nurse, and it's always the nurse's fault. Yeah, so Dr. Behringer, my nursing professor from nursing school, she tried to warn us. I will say that she did definitely warn us about how, you know, everything is going to be the nurse's fault. No matter whose fault it actually is, it's always our fault because we didn't check, or we didn't do this, or we didn't do that. And it's just a lot of pressure and anxiety that is involved, because somebody could not do their job 1,000 times before it gets to me. And then when it gets to me and it's not done, it's all of a sudden my fault. So whatever. So this video is pretty quick. I think I'm done talking. Thank you guys for watching. If you did watch, like, comment, subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments, or let me know if you have me on Facebook, Instagram, or any of my social medias, what type of content you want to see from me. I want to make more nursing related content, but I want to know what you guys want to see as well. I also don't want my channel to just involve nursing either. I am a nurse, but there's so many other things about me and my personality that I would like to share with you guys, not just about my nursing. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment.